Some people, some fans keep telling me on in their YouTube videos or on X that, hey, take it easy. We finished 15th. We should be trying to, compete against the 8th place teams and the 9th place teams. No. At what Amarim's looking for, but that's not all he's looking for. He's also looking for a striker who can handle playing under pressure with his back to goal. Yes, he needs a striker who continuously runs the channels. Yes, he needs a striker that's going to push the defense forward and away so that his 210s have some breathing rooms. This is why you guys are here, to come up with ideas and not just sack a bunch of blue-collar workers to cut expenses and dream up new stadium designs, which I don't think will be happening for another 10 years. You got about a month to 5 weeks to build a reputation with the fans, or be known as the Glazers Part 2. Look, there's no sugarcoating it. This is one of the most important transfer windows in the modern history of our club. After one of the worst seasons in recent memory, like we had a million injuries, inconsistent performances, aging players, and a squad that looked emotionally and physically lost, this summer was supposed to mark like a turning point. I was hoping for the beginning of something new. I wanted us to build a foundation for the future. Are we headed that way? What's up, YouTube? Thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for clicking on the thumbnail and joining me once again for another video. Thank you for the guys that have always been with me. Please hit the like and let's get that trend started. If you're new, welcome to the video. If you like what you see, go check out some of my old videos, but I want to get right into it. There's some news coming out and some things that have happened recently since the transfer window opened, and I want to touch on all of those things, and that's what we're going to jump right into. So we were told that INEOS was going to be different. Okay, that with Jason Wilcox's eyes for talent and with Omar Berrada's expertise, we were going to move smarter, faster, and have a much less chaotic transfer window than what defined the Ed Woodward era, if you will. And so far, let me explain what we've done, and you tell me where we're at. Leave it in the comments. If you think I'm wrong, leave it in the comments. At the beginning of the window, early, we paid the Matheus Cunha buyout clause with Wolves, and we got him in. Now, on paper, that's a good signing. I'm excited about that signing. You got a forward-thinking player who's good on the press when he does press. He makes great passes, good dribbler, can carry the ball, score goals. He's got impressive numbers, Premier League proven. But you have to ask yourself, was that deal done at the right time? Let me explain. Because now we're stuck in a standoff with Brentford over Bryan Mbeumo, our next target, a player who wants to join us, who sees us as his next big step up, but Brentford aren't fools. They've watched us pay Cunha's release clause, and now they're saying, wait a minute. Mbeumo has outperformed Cunha. More goals, more assists, more reliability, more kilometers covered. And why should he go for less? And they're right. We probably went for Cunha too early. We should have waited to make that deal. We should have got the Mbeumo deal done first, because we may have just overpaid Wolves for Matheus Cunha and accidentally inflated the market on ourselves. What a rookie mistake. It's a mistake that clubs like Brighton and Leipzig simply don't make. Meanwhile, the elephant in the room that still lingers is the need for a striker. We are desperate for a striker. We can't be going into next season without a striker. We've inquired about a handful of targets, from big names to emerging talents, from guys like Victor Osimhen, Gyökeres, and Hugo Ekitike. But every one of them seems to be too expensive or too complicated. I mean, we're spinning our wheels while other clubs are closing deals. The clubs I'm talking about are the ones we're trying to chase, the ones in the top four. Some people, some fans keep telling me in their YouTube videos or on X that, hey, take it easy. We finished 15th. We should be trying to, compete against the 8th place teams and the 9th place teams. No. That is not how you do it. You compete against the top 5 teams. And if you fall short, then you already beat the 8th place and the 9th place teams. If you compete against the 8th and the 9th place teams, and you happen to miscalculate and fall short, now you're 12th or 11th. This is not, you aim small to miss small. I said this in my past videos. If you're new to the channel, go back and watch some of my past videos. It is not winner mentality to compete against 8th and 9th place teams, because there's no guarantee that you're going to win that competition. Just like there's no guarantee that you're going to win a competition against the top 4 or 5, but that's who you aim for. So if you happen to lose, you end up 6th or 7th. Back to what I was talking about in our transfer targets, because now I'm hearing other things that concern me. I'm hearing whispers or little talk that we might be pivoting to a low-cost option like Olly Watkins, who was sitting on the bench for Aston Villa. Let me be clear. Watkins is a good player. But if the plan is to build a top 4 side, if the goal is to catch City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, is this really the kind of ambition we should be settling for? Somebody who couldn't even get in the starting lineup most of the times for the teams he actually plays for, and someone who's going to turn 30 very soon, after we were sold that the plan is that INEOS is only going to sign young talent. Look, I'm going to be real here. I don't think the Olly Watkins story has any legs. I think this is INEOS just being INEOS, where they call everybody, they chuck on everything, and they find out the price of every option before they go into a boardroom to have a meeting. And really, Olly Watkins is probably not someone that they're going to go for. At least that's what I hope is going to happen, because the alternative that we go to Olly Watkins just doesn't sit right with my brain. And I've explained it a little bit on X. And what I'm trying to say is, again, even though I know he's a good player, I know he's got the running attributes that some of us believe is what Amarim's looking for. But that's not all he's looking for. He's also looking for a striker who can handle playing under pressure with his back to goal. Yes, he needs a striker who continuously runs the channels. Yes, he needs a striker that's going to push the defense forward and away so that his 210s have some breathing room so they can control the game. But he also needs a striker who can play with his back to goal, receive from the center backs, and hold up the ball and get those 10s involved. He needs a striker who can play in tight spaces for a handful of seconds before the rest of the team catches up, or else we're going to be pressed out of games. That's why I don't really think Olly Watkins is an option, more than just one reason. I think on paper, in the data, yes, it shows that he runs the channels really effectively. He's really good at running channels, but I think they're smart enough to know that's just one aspect. He would be a desperation buy, and he would have to cost us less than half or half of what we would pay for someone like a Gyökeres, or else he's just not worth it, because we need to replace him in 2 years anyway. Look, I'm passionate about this because for me, this window isn't just about names on a squad list. It's about signaling who we are becoming. Right now, we look hesitant. We look reactive. We look like a club still unsure of how to operate at the highest level. And it makes me nervous. That's the concern. But here's the hope. There's still time. Berrada's still learning the ropes at United, and Wilcox has just stepped up into his role. INEOS is navigating FFP, cash flow issues, bad existing contracts with overpaid players, and years of structural rot. And rebuilds take time, especially when you're doing it properly. But that doesn't mean you slow the progress down by buying the wrong players. I'd much rather buy 3 of the right players than 1 or 2 right players and 2 or 3 wrong players, because then we're going to have to deal with those 3 in about a season or 2 later. I'd much rather just buy 3 of the right ones right now and wait until next summer to buy another 3 or 4 of the right ones. Some of you may not agree with me and just want anyone in the door because you're sick and tired of watching our underperforming players play again, and I don't blame you. But unless our owners are going to put their hands in their pockets, that's not going to happen. Because again, like I said, the problem is not an FFP problem. What we need now is clarity, conviction, and courage. The days of panic buying and last-minute shopping sprees have to end, guys. That's what I'm getting at. The margin for error is gone, and the fans know it, man. I know it. So to INEOS, to Wilcox, to Berrada, this is your moment, guys. Prove that this is the new Manchester United. Prove that there is a plan. We don't expect miracles, but we do expect movement, And we expect purpose, and above all, we expect progress. We do not have an FFP issue. I'll say it again. We have a cash flow problem. If INEOS bought into this partnership with the Glazers to get us back to the top, to put the Manchester back into Manchester United, well, then he may have to put his hands in his pockets again to put us past this summer and then build more avenues of income or revenue streams before next summer. This is why you guys are here, to come up with ideas and not just sack a bunch of blue-collar workers to cut expenses and dream up new stadium designs, which I don't think will be happening for another 10 years. You got about a month to 5 weeks to build a reputation with the fans or be known as the Glazers Part 2. Different, but failures nonetheless. Guys, I just wanted to make a short video and get this stuff off my chest because I don't like hearing us fans and seeing us fans being suddenly okay with a signing like Olly Watkins when we should be dreaming bigger. We have brand new owners. This is their first summer as far as I'm concerned. They should be wanting to make a splash and make a name for themselves. And they raised ticket prices. They sacked a bunch of people. No. We're not gonna allow them to forget all the things they've done so far for the promise of a brighter future. And a brighter future is not an almost 30-year-old striker who was sitting the bench for Aston Villa, even though, yes, he's good. Yes, he's better than what we've got. But is that where we're going? Because there are strikers that are way better than him that are available. So it's not one of those markets where you go, there's no other strikers available. There's plenty. There's at least 2 much better strikers, but I can name about 4 better strikers that are available. All we need to do is get owners who actually will spend. Guys, leave it in the comments if you don't agree with me and tell me why you don't agree with me. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. I am going to make shorter videos like this, but make them more often. Thanks, guys. Hit the like button. I'll see you soon.